news now. A new report says female members of Boko Haram are almost as likely as men to be deployed as fighters in northeast Nigeria, challenging a widespread perception that these women are mainly used as cooks, sex slaves, and suicide bombers. The report found that 4 in 10 female respondents served as soldiers, compared with 45% of men, while both sexes carried out domestic tasks like cooking and cleaning. Boko Haram has killed about 15,000 people and displaced more than 2 million in Nigeria in a 7-year insurgency to carve out an Islamist caliphate, and it still actually launches attacks despite having been driven out of much of the territory it held in 2014. The Islamists have stepped up suicide bombings carried out by children in recent years, many of them carried out by girls, according to the UN Children's Agency, UNICEF. Advocacy group Bring Back Our Girls have demanded that the Nigerian government do all within its power to ensure the release of the Chibok girls. The Chibok schoolgirls, numbering over 200, were kidnapped by the Boko Haram Islamist sect in April 2014. In a press conference to mark the 900th day of the girls' abduction now, the group criticized the government for its failure to rescue the girls. It demanded that the government collaborate with world powers like the United Nations to facilitate the safe release of the girls.
We demand that the president, together with his military and security team, would engage the key countries of the United States, United Kingdom, and France, with the support of the United Nations, to execute immediately the lowest risk option for retrieving our 218 Chibok girls. And we demand that they would do this within the shortest possible time frame. Our government has the primary duty to lead this effort, but the world owes Chibok girls the responsibility of supporting their rescue mission because our Chibok girls are global citizens. We urge the 3 key countries of the United States, the United Kingdom, and France, who are key members of the United Nations Security Council, and every other country, groups, institutions, and individuals with requisite expertise to seriously support the renewed effort of our government to bring back our girls immediately. 900 days is too long a time for the world to fail girls who went to be educated only to be abducted by terrorists. Number 2 key demand. We demand that the federal government should, in the light of the unacceptable contradictions in the handling and communicating of this tragedy so far, as evidenced by the infographic mappings of its own public statements, promptly overhaul its communication approach. We ask that the president directs as a matter of urgency the setting up of a 24/7, meaning 24 hours, 7 days a week, situation room that is composed of security forces and negotiators, as the case may be, to relay relevant declassified information on a timely manner for accountability to the parents of our Chibok girls, the Chibok community, our movement Bring Back Our Girls, as well as the public, at varying degrees of disclosure.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has said the government remains committed to the safe release of the abducted Chibok girls. In a statement issued, the minister insisted that the government was still ready to negotiate with the sect in order to secure the release of the girls. An earlier attempt to negotiate with the sect failed after the government backed out of the deal. The government said it backed out after the sect made fresh demands which it was not prepared for. However, despite the earlier setback, Mohammed has said that the government would not declare victory in the battle against Boko Haram unless the girls have been rescued. Now, last month, President Muhammadu Buhari revealed he was open to the intervention of United Nations representatives in talks with Boko Haram over the rescue of the Chibok girls. Nigeria's Minister of Budget and National Planning, Senator Udoma, has called on international donor agencies to patronize made-in-Nigeria goods to support the government's self-sufficiency drive. Udoma made this call over the weekend in Abuja during a meeting with the Executive Director of the United Nations Population Fund, Babatunde Oshotime, and his delegation in Abuja. The minister said the government was focusing on encouraging small and medium-scale industries and promoting made-in-Nigeria goods because there was a lot of scope for production and expansion. He asked the agencies to focus on local sourcing as that would help Nigeria achieve self-sufficiency and also end dependency on development partners. The Nigerian Air Force says it has destroyed some illegal refineries in Nigeria's restive Niger Delta region. A statement from the force said the troops of the ongoing Operation Delta Save carried out the operation. Now, Operation Delta Save is a military scheme initiated to stop pipeline attacks in the Niger Delta region. The restive southern swampland region has been rocked by violence against oil and gas pipelines since the start of the year, reducing the OPEC members' output by 700,000 barrels a day to 1.56 million barrels per day. Now, two militant groups in the region, Niger Delta Avengers and the Niger Delta Greenland Justice Mandate, have claimed responsibility for majority of the attacks. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation says it expects Nigeria's oil output to improve by 200,000 barrels per day in 2018. Speaking during the load-out ceremony for the Egina project in Port Harcourt, the Group Managing Director of NNPC, Mike Antibaru, said the commissioning of the umbilical flow lines and risers for the Engina Deep Offshore project will help improve Nigeria's oil output. Barrow disclosed that the module will guarantee the drilling of the first oil from the 200,000 barrels per day Ngima field by the first quarter of 2018. Now, Nigeria was Africa's largest economy and its top oil producer, but its public finances have suffered as the price of crude oil dropped around the world. The economic crisis has also worsened due to attacks on the country's pipelines by militants. The national leader of the ruling AllProgressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has urged Nigerians to be patient with the current administration led by President Muhammadu Buhari. Tinubu was speaking on Monday during the launch of a book titled Muhammadu Buhari, The Challenges of Leadership in Nigeria at the International Conference Center, Abuja. He said Buhari's slow but steady approach to governance was a result of his past experience as a military ruler. Tinubu also said the choice of Yemi Osinbajo as Buhari's running mate in the 2015 presidential election proved that the president was not intolerable to religious differences as it was suggested. U.S. industrial firm General Electric plans to invest around $150 million in Nigeria by 2017, a senior executive has said. The company's chief executive officer, Jay Ireland, said the investment was part of a plan to spend $2 billion in Africa in the coming years. President Muhammadu Buhari on Saturday in a speech marking Nigeria's Independence Day said General Electric was investing $2.2 billion in a concession to revamp, provide rolling stock and manage some of the country's railway lines. Now, growth in Nigeria has been stunted for decades by a lack of investment in its road and rail network. The Nigerian government has launched the Anchor Borrowers Program for rice farmers in Imo State, southeastern Nigeria. The program was flagged off by the state governor, Rochas Okorocha, in Owerri, the state's capital. The governor explained that the aim of the program was to provide food security in the country, adding that the development was also targeted at empowering unemployed youths in the state. The Anchors Borrowers Program is an initiative of the Central Bank of Nigeria aimed at creating an ecosystem to link smallholder farmers to local processors, increase banks' financing to the agricultural sector, enhance capacity utilization of agricultural firms involved in the production of identified commodities, as well as the productivity and incomes of farmers. The Nigerian government has set up a constitutional and electoral reforms committee. The committee is expected to review electoral environment laws, electoral environment, laws and experiences from recent elections conducted in Nigeria and make recommendations to strengthen and achieve the conduct of free and fair elections in Nigeria. Now, that commission will be chaired, of course, by a former Senate President, Ken Nnamani, while Maman Lawal, a lecturer at Bayero University, Kano, will serve as the secretary. Other members include Clement Wankwo, Moise Banire, and A.C. Ude. The Federal Road Safety Commission says an estimated 2,800 commercial vehicle drivers have been ticketed for failing to install speed-limiting devices in their automobiles. The Corps Marshal of the FRC, Boboye Oyeyemi, had issued a reminder in August warning owners of commercial vehicles to equip them with speed-limiting devices no later than October 1st, 2016. But the FRC statement indicated that many drivers are yet to comply with the Road Safety Directive, which commenced last weekend. The FRC, however, said drivers who were issued tickets were part of a mock enforcement exercise and will not part with their money for now. But he said violations of the speed limiting devices will start attracting fines from January 2017. Nigerian comedian Ganduki has set a new world record for the longest stand-up comedy performance by an individual. Ganduki set a time of 42 hours 10 minutes to beat the previous time of 40 hours set by American comedian David Scott. Now, the Nigerian started his attempt by 8 p.m. on Thursday, September the 30th, and had aimed to do a 48-hour show. He finished on Saturday, October 1st, just few hours after 4 p.m. and 5 hours, 50 minutes, I should say, short of his initial target of 48 hours. The stage is set, the clock ticking, and the microphone on standby. All set for Nigerian comedian Ganduki, who is giving himself the task of setting a new world record for the longest stand-up comedy performance by an individual. And then the show begins.
Women, very easy to deceive. If I like answer, doctor, you say, I want a lovely, God-fearing man. Just be God-fearing man for a front.
His supporters are enthralled as he puts up a captivating performance, and with each passing hour, he edges closer to an historic milestone. But as the time goes on, his body begins to let him down.
Now, so they're supposed to be before. You know, that's how they complain to them, complain to something. Someone said, that is true.
But with his supporters urging him on, Ganduki remains determined to make history.
Father, we want to say thank you.
He takes a 15-minute break after every 4 hours to refresh and fire on, but he never sleeps.
They're supposed to be before.
He continues the routine until the 42nd hour, when his body finally caves in.
Wow. Congratulations. Yeah.
The new record, which stands at 42 hours and 10 minutes, creates an outpour of joy among his supporters.
We want to congratulate you. We are happy with you. We stand with Ganduki. If you stand with Ganduki, let me see your hands up. And you have just distinguished yourself as a veteran, as a legend, as an icon. You are comedy itself. So nothing can be described when they talk about stand-up comedy without the name Ganduki.
The crowd is now in full celebratory mood. His fellow comedians say these achievements will create a new pathway for everyone in the entertainment industry.
It's a great deal in Nigeria. It's in the first stand-up comedian in Nigeria, breaking world record, and setting his own record too. At least this man has been talking for over 43 hours now, non-stop. It's a great thing, great achievement in Nigeria.
Everybody knows how important the Guinness World Record is. It tends to give whatever industry, whoever broke the record is some level of, respect, some level of recognition. So that's what this will do for the Nigerian comedy industry. If we've not been known all over the world before, this is a way for them to know that there's a country called Nigeria in Africa, and of course they have a comedy industry there. That's what that will do for us, and it's a great one for Nigeria.
The accolades do not stop there. His manager and sponsor also say this is the start of something special for the comedian.
This is a new record, world record, which are about to prove officially and get certified for this. Of course, and it's supposed to open other doors. And so it's the beginning of the new Ganduki. In fact, the new Ganduki runs an office, which you all know by now. It's called Office of Ganduki. So expect so much more from Office of Ganduki based on this new record.
This is history that has been made, and I believe this is a yardstick for the whole world to recognize Nigeria as a force to be reckoned with, and also to open doors for all other young arts and comedy, in music, that the sky is the limit. Anybody can also come up and do something different. And also makes me believe that whatever you believe in, whatever you like doing, do it well. Keep doing it well, and you know that the sky is everybody's limit.
There's no doubt that this indeed is an historic achievement for Ganduki and the Nigerian entertainment industry. With the record still to be ratified by the Guinness Book of World Records, all Ganduki can do now is hope this achievement stays for a very long time. Well, we'll say congratulations to Ganduki. We'll take a short break here, and then News Now will be right back.
Corruption not in my country.
How work?
How correct, Oga?
What is it that you are doing?
Oga, they command the part now. Make we go sell for.
Oga, na correct kuza be this o. Oga Titus and him boys them. They do am. They will command the original parts, sell them, make plenty kuza.
No wonder our customers bring the generator back to our workshop because they bad. And not because of stuff.
Now because they overuse the generator. Plus say NEPA no they give them electricity.
Before I open my eye, Makachuku look at my talk in the heaven. Replace this original generator parts back inside this generator of my customer. In short, before una do am, frog jump. One, frog jump. 1, 2, 1. Stealing of generator parts or changing of original parts to a fake one. That is the corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Leadership and policy formulation are vital issues Nigeria must deal with to get the economy right and solve the high rate of unemployment in the country. Now, that's according to Director General of the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association, Segun Oshinawo. He was speaking on Monday at the NECA Network of Entrepreneurial Women in Lagos. Other speakers at the event agreed that there is need for government to encourage vocational and technical education while investing in small and medium-scale enterprises to address the country's economic challenges. Correspondent Tunji Olanikbekun completes the story.
Gathered in this hall are women entrepreneurs.
Lovely members of you, hello.
Hi. In the face of economic realities both at home and the workplace, these women have come together to compare notes on how to grow small-scale businesses and improve the standard of living of women in Nigeria.
We are treating the symptom rather than the disease. How can a country with large arable lands have graduate of agriculture that is unemployed? How do you put the two together? How can a country which is the biggest exporter of crude oil have graduates of chemical engineering and geology that are unemployed? The two do not really connect.
The problem of unemployment is not something that we inherited now. It's been ongoing for a long time. It's something that we are facing, but what we need to do is to encourage more SMEs. The multiplier effect of 1,000 SME producing jobs or employing people is more than big corporations employing people. So I've always said to people that any economy that encourages SMEs would actually reduce unemployment. And so the issue of unemployment is there, the issue of underemployment is also there. And so what we need to do is to join forces with the federal government and encourage SMEs.
They believe facilitating ease of doing business, capital for entrepreneurs, vocational and technical education will go a long way in addressing the problems of unemployment and criminality among youths.
I feel, and it is obvious, that the only reason our technical schools, the public technical schools are not doing well, it's because they are not doing it right. Skills is hands-on, practicals. If people acquire the skills, they will be able to go out there and use it to eat. The work you are doing is a professional work. If you don't have the skills, you can't excel in this. Your cameraman is a professional. If he does not have practical skills and he calls himself a cameraman, he will not be able to excel. So if we teach it right, the people will go out there and they will excel.
Our problem is not unemployment. Forget about the statistics that have come out from the office of the National Bureau of Statistics. Our problem, this is a developing country with many, many opportunities. Our problem is lack of pervasive development and absence of what I call pervasive good governance.
To encourage women who may have problem of startup funding and office space, the NECA network of women entrepreneurs opened a virtual office for women to use, equipped with office facilities and internet connections. Tunjola Nipekun, TV360, Lagos.
Now, Filippo Amato, an official of the European Union, has advised the Nigerian government to devalue the naira as part of measures to tackle the economic recession. Amato, who is the Chancellor head of Trade and Economic section of EU, made this known in an interview with newsmen on Monday. He said recession could not be addressed with traditional development tools. Amato further disclosed that the EU had been at the forefront of aid for trade support activities in Nigeria and ECOWAS. Oil rose to its highest since August, above $50 a barrel on Monday, supported by a planned production cut by exporter club OPEC. Brent crude futures were up 42 cents at $50.61 a barrel, while U.S. crude futures rose 37 cents to $48.61 a barrel. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries said last week it would cut output to between 32.5 million barrels per day and 33.0 million barrels per day from about 33.5 million barrels per day, with details to be finalized at its policy meeting in November. Voters in Colombia have rejected a landmark peace deal with FARC rebels in a shock referendum result, with 50.2% voting against it. The deal was signed last week by President Juan Manuel Santos and FARC leader Timoleon Jimenez after nearly 4 years of negotiations, but it needed to be ratified by Colombians in order to come into force. Colombians were asked to endorse or reject the peace agreement in a popular vote. The Yes campaign had the backing not just of President Santos, but of a wide array of politicians, both in Colombia and abroad, including UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. But in a surprise result, 50.2% of voters rejected the agreement, compared with 49.8% who voted for it. South African President Jacob Zuma has warned that widespread protests by South African students demanding free higher education could destroy universities in the country. Now, universities across South Africa have been plunged into a state of paralysis since announcement by the Minister of Higher Education, Blade Nzimande, that tertiary institutions could hike their fees for 2017, but no more than 8%. Speaking at the opening ceremony of Higher Education Stakeholders Summit on Monday, Zuma urged the students to stop the protests. He, however, assured that his government was committed to do everything possible to progressively make higher education more affordable for all. To sports now, Nigerian Professional Football League side Enugu Rangers have won their first league title in over 32 years after defeating Borno side El Kanemi Warriors 4-0 in their final match of the 2015-2016 NPFL season. The team finished on 63 points, that's 3 points now ahead of closest rivals Rivers United. Rangers last won the league in 1984. Both teams will now represent Nigeria at next year's CAF Champions League. Meanwhile, Gombe United and Katsina United have been promoted to Nigerian Top Flight League after final day victories against Supreme Court and Kogi United respectively on Saturday. Super Eagles coach Gernot Raw has included Wiki tourist striker Gabriel Obaje and Enugu Rangers forward Chisom Egbuchulam in his squad for the opening World Cup qualifier against Zambia. The duo will replace Chelsea winger Victor Moses and Watford striker Isaac Success in the original 23-man squad. Moses and Success both picked up injuries while playing for their various clubs during last weekend's Premier League matches. Obaje finished as the MPFL top scorer with 18 goals, while Egbuchulam finished second on the scorers chart with 15 goals. They are both expected to join up with the Eagles squad immediately. The Eagles were paired with Zambia, Cameroon and Algeria in Group B. The team will start its qualification campaign with a game away to Zambia on October the 9th, 2016 and finish away to Algeria on November 7, 2017. Now only the top team will qualify from the group. Well, controversial world heavyweight champion, boxing champion I should say, Tyson Fury has reacted to his decision to retire from boxing. The 28-year-old had earlier announced his retirement. He has actually retracted Now, he had earlier announced his retirement in a series of tweets on his official Twitter account. The British launched a foul-mouthed rant aimed at the governing body, saying he was happy to move away from the sport. But in another tweet later on Monday, Fury declared he was here to stay and insisted he was not retiring soon. Fury, who has courted a great deal of controversy throughout his career, has an ongoing case with UK anti-doping and had been awaiting a hearing over an alleged positive test for cocaine. If he is found guilty of doping violations, he will lose his MBA and WBA, I should say, and MBO titles. Quite a controversial character, I must say. But good he has retracted or rescinded his decision now to retire from the sports. Well, that's it in news now. Well, thank you very much for watching. Continue to stay tuned to TV360.